Hello everyone. SWIFT just published its own plan for CBDC settlement scheme, as reported by Reuters. SWIFT is a private company maintaining messaging system to conduct interbank transfers. They are essentially a monopoly when it comes to bank wire transactions. If you don't have access to SWIFT messaging system, you are basically cut off from operations with US dollar. Company just announced blueprint for a global central bank digital currency, CBDC, following an 8-month experiment on different technologies and currencies. The trial, which for the last month has involved France and Germany's national central banks, as well as global lenders like HSBC, Standard Chartered and UBS, looked at how CBDCs could be used internationally and even converted into fiat money if needed. Let's first dispel one major misconception. CBDC, or central bank digital currency, conceptually, has nothing in common with decentralized cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. Decentralized cryptocurrency, normally, is not under control of any one entity. CBDC, or central bank digital currency, on the other hand, is a digital version of national currency, and is under the full control of the national governments. This is a main difference to remember. As we all know, most governments around the world are experimenting with, or implementing national digital currencies. China already has a fully operational digital yuan system in place. US released white paper on its own CBDC this year, and is working on implementing FedNow system, which will be released in March of 2023. It is not a digital currency per se, but it is an infrastructure that can be used to support US CBDC, or digital dollar. The service is intended to be a flexible, neutral platform that supports a broad variety of instant payments, states description on Federal Reserve website. Our money system is changing rapidly, and it will affect us all. We might not like where it is going, but at least, we should be informed and prepared. FedNow is a major development in US financial system that didn't get enough attention in mainstream media. Basically, you will have an account with Federal Reserve directly, bypassing traditional banking system, and you will be able to transact directly with a business or persons receiving your money in real time. Banks will be servicing the FedNow account, but account itself will be held in Fed. Currently, if you want to send money, you would have to request a wire transfer from your bank. Bank will debit your account and send a request, using SWIFT or a similar system, to another bank. Upon receiving SWIFT message, receiving bank will credit an account for your designated recipient. Actual balance transfer between the banks, holding accounts in question, is handled by Federal Reserve. This is a simplified version. If you are paying with a credit card, the process will be even more complicated, with number of intermediaries doubling or tripling. With FedNow, technically, no bank is needed. You send money directly from your account with Fed to a recipient, who will also have an account with Fed. Fast, efficient and with minimal fees. New Federal Reserve CBDC, or US Central Bank Digital Currency, will be built on FedNow infrastructure. Every dollar will be represented by a digital programmable token, that will be transferred via FedNow. As we see, there is nothing here resembling Bitcoin or any similar cryptocurrency. US government will be in full control of terms and conditions for use of these new tokens or CBDCs. As you can imagine, central bank digital currency, in concept, is built to bypass intermediaries like SWIFT, and it will, on the national level, transfer control from private entities to the Fed. Federal Reserve will take over of all the electronic communications between accounts. Fed will be in full control of our accounts. But that still leaves a question of control over international transfers. How would US government exert its control over a new payment system? Not every government will be interested in adopting US Federal Reserve's FedNow as a foundation of its banking, given the history of seizing other government funds. Enter the SWIFT. Currently, SWIFT is the biggest international payment platform, with over 11,500 banks and other financial institutions in 200 countries. If SWIFT can become a center for the new international digital payment network, US can maintain its total control over international trade worldwide. So much for a possibility of individual banks and financial institutions to transact directly, without any interference. So much for a robust, decentralized international financial system. We can't have that. Here is how SWIFT is proposing to organize the new system. SWIFT's head of innovation Nick Kerrigan stated, "The idea is that, once scaled up, banks may need only one main global connection, rather than thousands if they were to set up connections with each counterpart individually. We believe that the number of connections needed is much fewer, therefore, you are likely to have fewer breaks in the chain, and you are likely to achieve greater efficiency. One global center for entire world's financial system. What can be more secure and resistant to any possible failures? Like a data breach, natural disaster, or any other black swan event? They are trying to sell us on yet another high-efficiency system. Just-in-time worldwide logistics system we built, have demonstrated how fragile it is, and yet, some people never learn. In order to squeeze every penny out of everything these bankers touch, they are willing to build a glass house that they think should support a new and very unstable world order? However, I think the idea of centralization is more about control than efficiency. We have to keep in mind accelerating de-dollarization in international trade. I have no doubt that with the rise of digital currencies in individual countries, reliance on Federal Reserve will diminish dramatically. U.S. economy is based on U.S. dollar reserve status, and it is Washington's main tool to wage economic warfare. Losing this lever can spell a collapse to the whole empire U.S. has to maintain. Currently, if U.S. doesn't like a company in China or India, or anywhere else, they can simply implement sanctions. These companies, or governments, will be cut off from international trade conducted in U.S. dollars by Federal Reserve, since most of the dollar payments end up settled by U.S. Federal Reserve. Does this sound like U.S. is trying to implement a new way to use its financial power? As we all know, U.S. has control over SWIFT, even though SWIFT is a private company. We will see how the situation develops. World is changing, and most players are aware of dangers depending on someone, especially U.S. I really doubt China is looking for ways to hand over more control over its economy to U.S. I think Washington understands the inevitability of de-dollarization and will try to build a new system to maintain its empire and all the perks associated with it. We have lived at the expense of the world for a few decades now, and it will be hard to adjust, should U.S. lose its dominant position, which is only a matter of time in my opinion. What will the new financial system look like? We don't know yet. But it is pretty clear that it will be different from what we are seeing today. I hope you are getting ready. Let me know in the comments if you think US will succeed in retaining its control over financial system in the years to come, or do you think US dominance is at its end? Please subscribe and like if you enjoy these videos. Thank you for watching. Until next time.